Welcome back to Dark Nights. We left off talking to Roya in a park. Obviously, he's being very suspicious. Although I do not mind his company, I always feel awkward around him. I want to leave, but that'd be rude. I suppose General's manners have rubbed off on me. You saw what happened earlier, right? What do you mean? That boy. He was taken care of by Chain. I thought he was looking for me. Do you happen to know why that boy was arrested? No, but the fact he's with the gas mask now means the kid's in trouble. Anyway, that stalker seems to know too much about Juju and me. I'm starting to wonder if someone isn't leaking information about us. Roya smirks at me. His eyes narrowed, but I swiftly shake my head. Oh, come on, Miss Cutie. I didn't think it was you. Chain's been after us since before we met. Besides, my cute little bro is too much of a worrywart to risk worrying you by telling you everything. I know what that guy is up to, and the last thing I'm gonna do is let him get his grubby hands on me. Roy lets out a sigh and glances up at the bright sky. The book you're reading, Brett Days. It's good. Characters that barely had a few lines in the first book actually got to speak their minds. Well, I probably shouldn't spoil it for you. Let me know when you finished reading it. I didn't expect Roy to be much of a reader, but it's nice that we have something in common. Hearing him talk casually makes him seem like a different person. I want to chat longer, but he suddenly stands up, stretching his arms, yawning. I'm starting to feel tired. Staying outside for so long always does a number on me. Speaking of which, don't I usually see you at night? Well, that's the easiest time to catch the living dead. We're prettiest under the moonlight, don't you think? Chain may be crazy, but can't you work with the police? They want to put an end to this too. Isn't it obvious? With hands stained like mine, how could I ever ask the authorities for help? Must be someone willing to help. I don't know how many of those living dead are out there, but you can't do it all alone. Whatever you say, Miss Cutie. Wario waves his hand before walking off. I paid General a visit the next day, hoping his recovery has come along well. I'd considered bringing him food, but only ended up taking a few packs of tea leaves just to be safe. On my way to the mansion, I happened to bump into General himself. To my surprise, he has shopping bags in both hands. Oh, General, shouldn't you be resting? Ah, Miss Miyoko. What a pleasure it is to see you. I have taken care to rest and recuperate before going out and about, so you don't need to worry. I glanced at the contents of his bags. It seems he bought sweets and other stuff. He told me some time ago that it's torture to consume regular food. I cannot imagine what he has gone through these past few days. Junior glances at the tea in my hands and smiles softly. Did you bring those for me? As always, you are too kind. Shall we head to the mansion so I can prepare you a cup? Gladly. Would you mind if I invited my brother to our little soiree? He also quite enjoys tea. Go ahead, more the merrier. Junior leads me over to the sofa, ensuring that I'm comfortable before he heads upstairs. I wonder if the brothers' bond has started to repair itself. Junior no longer seems as gloomy when he mentions Roya. A few minutes pass by, but he still has not returned. What's taking him so long? Should I check on him? Junior, is everything alright? My shot goes unanswered, and I cannot resist the urge to go upstairs. I glance aside the hallway and notice one door is open a crack. I decide to peek into the room. Oh my. I see Junior kneeling down, staring at Roy's body in silence. My stomach lurches as I gaze at the blonde, who's in even worse condition than Junior was back at the alley. Junior, what happened? I step closer to properly examine the situation and see a deep cut on Roy's neck. Horrified, I turn away and take a step backwards. Junior clenches his fist as tears stream down his cheeks. I reach out to offer what comfort I can, not knowing what I can possibly say. He slowly rises to his feet and turns away from Roy's mutilated corpse. He struggles to find something to say, lost in the sadness. When it seems like he's about to break down, he pulls me into a tight hug, his chin resting on my shoulder. His breathing is ragged. The depth of his star is trapped below the surface, trying to force its way through. For what feels like the first time, Jinro's air of calmness is breaking down in front of me. Tears well up in my eyes, blurring my vision. I did not expect Chain to kill him. The older brother I grew up with always seemed so strong, and I... You shouldn't take revenge. I don't know what you're thinking about right now, Ju, but I don't want to see you get hurt. Please don't try to take revenge on Shane. Jinro pulls away slowly. I cannot describe the sadness and pain reflected in his eyes. Despite all he must be feeling, he nods silently and forces a weak smile. Miss Miyako, what would I do without you? Maybe... No, it's daytime right now. I don't think the two timelines intersect. He wipes away the remnants of his tears with his gloved hands. It seems you only see me at my weakest. I wish it were otherwise. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Thank you for being here, though. I fear I cannot have you stay in this bloodbath. I must see Roya's body. I'm so sorry, Ju. You know where to find me if you need anything. Of course. Please take care, Miss Miyako. Before I leave, I take one last glance at Jinro. Poor guy, losing his brother after all this happened. He's still trying so hard to keep it together. I quietly head home. I spend my time in my bedroom. I can hardly sleep without worrying about Jinro. His sad expression is burned into my mind. Thinking about it makes me want to cry too. My thoughts swirl around the incident this morning. It's easy to find even more murders in the papers. I can't forgive Chain for this. As if on cue, I hear someone knock against the window pane. Chain's face appears on the other side, and he gestures for me to open the window. It takes me a moment to realize what is happening before I walk closer. What are you doing up here? He gestures to me, but I cannot hear anything through the glass. What do you want this time? Jinro isn't here. Are you here to kill me too? I need to talk with you. It's so important that you have to come in through the window. You went to the mansion today, didn't you? Oh, and how do you know that? Were you following your prey to make sure he died? Chain continues staring at me with these cold, emotionless eyes. Let me get straight to the point. The only reason I killed those two monsters was because they were murderers. Why did you need to kill? Couldn't you have called the cops or something instead? I am the cops. Those monsters have killed countless people. They don't deserve to live. Jinro's completely innocent, and yet you mutilated him. Chain narrows his eyes as he glares at me. For a moment, it seems he's thinking. I see. What? Whose side are you on? The village's or theirs? Chain leans closer. Our faces inches apart before I can even blink. I stare at him, frightened into speechlessness as the horrible wounds of Kenriji brothers flash through my mind. Everyone you know and love will be dead before you realize it. All because of those monsters. You should spare your efforts reporting this to the police. If you twist the story, you'll get to deal with me. This is my last warning. Get in my way again and you'll be just as dead as them. He goes back to the window and glances at me one last time before jumping out. Once he is gone, I swiftly slam the window shut. Why would he come here to say that? Does he think I'm an accomplice? At the very least, I think he assumed Jinro is dead too. I can't let him find out the truth. I sit back on my chair and think about Chain's words. Since when was I on Jinro's side? Is it because I shake my head at the thought before dozing off into a dreamless slumber. I wake up with a huge headache. It seems I'll be staying inside today. You know, it's probably because you went to sleep after being awake. That normally happens. I make breakfast and turn on the TV, flipping into the news channel. Another victim was found with strange bite marks on his neck this morning. He seems to have died sometime between 11 p.m. and... I nearly choke when I hear the announcement, staring at the screen in disbelief. There was another death? It couldn't have been Jinro's fault, right? He said there were other living dead here, so... In other news, the missing tourists from earlier this month were safely located last night. At least there's some good news today. I knew there weren't any forest demons. That's where you're wrong. Headache. I should go check up on Ju, but the pain is killing me. Maybe if I take a nap, I'll feel better. The next day, my headache is gone. I wanted to visit him earlier, but it was hard to get around. The nap did wonders for my headache. Just as I head out to visit Ju, however, I find a newspaper on my doormat. 3 victims found with bite marks in an alley. Will these murders ever stop? I stare at the words confused. What? The number of murders is increasing? I push the word to the back of my mind and begin walking. Hey, Jinru, are you home? I call out his name, but like last time there's no reply. It seems I'll have to look for him again. I begin searching the rooms one by one. In the other wing of the house, I find an open door and peek inside. Sitting on the floor is Jinru. The scene is the exact same as the last time I was here, except where his body is gone. Has he been sitting here all day? I call his name, but he doesn't look up or move an inch. Ju, are you alright? Panic starts to well up inside me until he finally looks up at me. Oh, Miss Miyoko. He whispers as if he barely has the energy to talk. Don't tell me you sat here all day and night without moving an inch. Oh no, I left to bury Roya. He hangs his head up again. I gently push his shoulders back so I can look right into his eyes. Junior, get a hold of yourself. I know you must be hurting right now, but please. Right now you look so lifeless and it's scaring me. I simply do not know what to think anymore. I'm sure Roya doesn't want you to drown in sadness. I thought I killed him already. The sudden voice startles me. I quickly turn around and see Chain standing in the doorway. I nearly gasp when I notice he's carrying a large, freshly sharpened knife in his hand. I had a feeling something was wrong when I saw you come this way again. I'm not gonna let you hurt Junior again. I stand in front of Junior and spread my arms out. Move aside. Chain's gaze hardens with anger. My legs start to go numb, but I will not move an inch away from Junior. Do you want to go down with him? I won't show mercy to those who side with monsters. He points his blade at me while still keeping an eye at Junior. Oh, I have an option to say kill me then. Kill me then. If you have to kill me, if you want to lay your finger on Junior. I shoot Chain my most determined glare, trying to conceal my fear. If you want to die that badly. Chain raises his blade, aiming at me. I hold my breath, terror nailing me to the floor. My knight lurches backward in the blink of an eye. It takes a few seconds before I realize Junior's between us, blocking me from Chain. Killing an unarmed girl? Despicable. Get out of my house. Paying attention now? Well, it won't make a difference. Junior catches Chain's arm as he makes another swing with his blade. I was willing to consider forgiving you despite what happened to Roya. Call it a misunderstanding. But attacking Miyoko in cold blood? You're a scum of the earth. Junior's hand tightens around Chain's arm before throwing his attacker backwards. You will not take someone precious from me ever again. Despite everything that's happening, Junior's words fill me with warmth. I couldn't care less. Let's finish this already. Chain lowers his knife this time, aiming for my friend's leg. Junior kicks his arm away with a sickening crunch. Without any weapon of his own, however, I worry he will not last long. You can't win like this. Junior suddenly goes onto his offensive, his fist connecting with Chain's arm so forcefully he drops his blade, and his other arm strikes just as powerfully, smacking Chain to the ground. Chain barely seems affected, shifting back to his feet in the blink of an eye. His foot connects with Junior's stomach, sending my friend backwards as he moves for his blade. I manage to slip into Junior's blind spot and stab him. The floor turning red beneath them, I gasp at the scene. I search for anything and use as a weapon. In the end, grab the wooden chair from the corner and lunge it towards Chain. What the hell? While Chain is caught off guard by my assault, Junior pulls the knife out of his torso, tosses it away and grabs his opponent by the shoulders. What? Even with the generous grasp, Chain still manages to grab his gun and aims it straight at me. I wince, closing my eyes as 2 gunshots echo through the room. The pain I expect never comes. I slowly open my eyes and find Chain on his knees. Junior stands behind him with a bone-chilling glare. I'm sorry. Those reflexes. I didn't think you'd be able to move so well in that condition. Getting killed by you was the last thing I expected, and you... His cold gaze pierces mine. I cannot help but feel as if I was the one who killed him. The red stain on Shane's shirt grows quickly and he soon collapses. I see a gun dropping on the floor. It was aimed at Shane's direction. Did he turn the gun at the last moment? Jorner kneels beside the other man as he struggles to breathe, but it's not long before he goes silent and stops moving. I can only watch my friend as he removes a glove and closes the dead man's eyes. He died right in front of me. I can barely believe it. What just happened? I heard the gunshots and... When I realized that was about to happen, no, that is not important. Are you alright, Miss Miyoko? Yes, I'm alright if you hadn't stopped them. I cannot bear to watch another precious person be taken from me. I could not stand by and let Shane harm you. Why did it have to end this way? We could have worked together. Miss Miyoko, I'm so sorry I've made this your burden as well. We must move forward as best as we can. The generous gaze returns as he gives me a small smile. It leads me to see that he is no longer the truly dead person I saw minutes ago. All of a sudden he begins to collapse, but I manage to catch him before he hits the ground. Jew? I believe I broke something. You scared me, do I need to... Miss Miyoko, I'll be fine. My wounds will heal in a few days. You've lost a lot of blood though. Better mine than yours. It's a minor concern for me. Are you sure? You look really pale. In a fair world, I would have had the strength to tend to you instead of leaning on you every time. It's okay. The important things were both still alive. In the meantime, what should we do with his body? It'll be a problem if anyone reports him missing. As far as I'm aware, he's not working with anyone. Burying him should take care of the problem. For now, ask your assistance in helping me to my room. I nod and lend him my shoulder. Once we reach Junoro's room, I help him onto the bed. I must apologize for the trouble I've caused you the last few days, Miss Miyoko. Oh, stop apologizing so much. I'm always happy to help you. You're quickly becoming a guilty pleasure of mine, Miss Miyoko. No matter what happens, you always return with a smile. I'm tougher than I look. You're worth fighting for. Junoro blushes from my words, not knowing how to respond. By the way, I read that more murders were happening. Do you know what's going on? It sounds like the living dead are still in the village. Ray was the one who called them. With him gone, it's only right I should take his place. But I do not know how to pick up where he left off. He never told me what he was doing because he assumed I didn't have the stomach for it. Now I must piece it all together before the village is devoured. Thanks for the positive thoughts. Thankfully, that is only the worst case scenario. Miss Miyoko, if you notice anything strange, please tell me about it as soon as you can. I may need your help to put an end to this. Will do. But before you even think of fighting off the living dead, you need to take care of yourself. You really do look like you should be dead right now. Oh, is it that bad? I point at his torn clothes and wounds. I suppose I should do something about these clothes. That's not really what I meant. Junoro chuckles and covers up his wounded chest with a sheet. If you'd be so kind, could you get the first aid kit for me? Of course. The two of us end up talking till the sun begins to set. I make sure to head home before 9 p.m. If there's no forest demon rumors, is Corrado still alive? Maybe he is. The following days pass by slowly. It is boring without Junoro around, but I know I shouldn't bother looking for him too much. Wait. Hope he recovers soon from these past events. Chapter 3. Memories. The break is ended today, so I can finally see Ryuji and Akuya again. As I walk to my classroom, I notice a huge crowd blocking the doorway. What's going on? They're acting like we have a celebrity guest. I feel someone poke my shoulder and turn to find myself face to face with Akuya. I cannot speak. How long have you been standing there? Only a few seconds. I hope you had a nice holiday. Yeah, sort of. My time with Junoro flashes through my mind. I did have fun when I was with him. How was your trip with Oji? Did you have lots of fun without me? I throw my arm around her shoulder and tease her with a mischievous smile. She crosses her arms and blushes lightly, shaking her head heavily. Don't make it sound weird, dum-dum. A chuckle at Akuya's honest reaction. Even though she has a crush on Ryuji, she never told him how he feels, or she feels. On the other hand, I do not know how she feels, or how he feels, but I suspect it is not mutual. I cannot speak at all today. In a way, do you know what's going on here? Yeah, we're getting 2 new transfer students today. What? In the middle of the year? Weird, right? Well, we don't get new students very often, so everyone's excited about it. Go with me. Let's take a peek at the new people together. Is it those 2? Hey, are you 2 trying to stalk the transfer students? Glad to see you again too, Ryuji. Do you know what time it is? Everyone's supposed to be heading to their classes. Like you're one to talk, I just want a quick peek. Unlike you, I won't get distracted on the way back. If you don't go back now, you'll be late. Okay, Mr. Class President. I mean, you do realize the 2 transfers are part of our class, right? You can stare at them all you want once you're seated. You 2 are such idiots. Akuya pouts at him before turning away and walking ahead. Once Akuya and I are in the classroom, I immediately spot the new students. The boys stand out quite a bit with the strange bandages around their mouths and arms. They look a lot alike. Are they twins? As I walk past the new students, their eyes follow me and a shiver runs down my spine. They're staring at me almost hungrily as if I'm nothing but prey to them. Once everyone's seated, the teacher asks the boys to introduce themselves in front of the classroom. My name is Jason, this is Blaze, my older brother. We're fraternal twins. Hold up. Okay, so when you get involved with Zakun, you don't even meet these guys. But as long as you're staying in the school, you do. I like that. Maybe we can actually get along since your buddy's a zombie, essentially. Maybe not. Our parents recently passed away, but we've transferred here to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city while we mourn. I hope we can get along. Blaze is staring elsewhere with bored eyes if he's uninterested in us. If you want to know anything about us, just ask. How old are you? We're both 20. What? You couldn't tell? We have a certain illness that doesn't allow us to expose our skin to sunlight. Should you really be coming to school then? Blaze instantly glares at the student who asked the question. I don't think that's any of your business. Jay seems friendly enough, but his brother seems awfully moody. I hope they can make friends. For the rest of the day, I avoid looking in the boy's direction. For some reason, I get the feeling Blaze is watching me. What was that guy's problem? Either way, I shouldn't have let him intimidate me. While I pack my belongings, I notice Blaze and Jace are staying in the hallway. I silently pray that they will not pay attention to me. Hey there. I jinxed myself. I look around, wondering if Jace is trying to talk to someone else, but I'm the only one around. Yeah, I was talking to you. I greet the brothers with a weak smile. Hi, is there something I can help you with? I know it's a selfish request, but can you show us around the school when you have time? Although I do not want to show them around, I do not want to give the new students a poor impression of the school either. Of course. Besides, I'd love to get to know you 2 better. Great. Do you have time right now? Yes, I have time, I guess. Ah, perfect. Jace appears quite pleased, while Blaze is still wearing the same bored expression as before. I guide the brothers around the school, showing them all the key areas, the classrooms, library, nurse's office, cafeteria, and more. By the way, I apologize for my brother's behavior. He's always like that, so don't mind him. Shut up, Jace. That reminds me, can I ask why you keep staring at me in class, Blaze? The man turns with me with a raised eyebrow, giving up. I wave my hand to say forget it. Oh, so my brother's taken an interest in someone, has he? What do you mean? You know, he is actually. Shut up, both of you. Blaze alternates a death glare between his brother and me. I was joking mostly. He doesn't usually like people. But well, if he does take a liking to you, you should be careful around him. What's that supposed to mean? Blaze tugs his brother closer to himself and grunts. Don't take him seriously. Why should I take you seriously? I snorted his reaction. The stereotypical delinquent act is comical to me. When we finish the tour, Jace politely thanks me while, predictably, Blaze says nothing. Why don't we make more plans, since we really don't know anyone else yet? The fact Blaze has his back turned to me does not convince me that I'm wanted. Don't mind him. I'm sure he'd love to be friends with you. When Jace goes to give his brother a playful kick, he surprisingly manages to dodge it, even though it came from his blind spot. By the way, do you even know my name? Miyako, right? I see you checked the student register. Oh well, I actually know. You talk too much. Let's go already. Lee grabs Jace by his arm and pulls him along, giving me one last chilling glare before despairing. Those two are definitely up to no good. Well, Jace is friendly enough, but it could just be an act. I shouldn't let my guard down. Since I did not have any homework today, I decided to spend my extra free time with Jinru. Hey, Jude, did you go to school today? No, I am only going later tonight. Oh right, you told me you're taking the night classes. Which reminds me, can I come with you? I realize going out so late is not safe. The teachers even had a few meetings to discuss the possibility of canceling night classes indefinitely. As I said before, however, the students attending the night class are of a different caliber. Do you still want to go? I won't let myself be dead weight. If we need to fight, I'll help out. Even so, the living dead are my responsibility, and allowing me to protect you is part of the deal. We talk until my stomach begins to rumble. Junora insists on serving me dinner, so I stay for some Kenshijiru and Takikomi Gohan. While I eat, Junora shares some notes from his night classes. The subjects seem different today, and even more advanced than what I'd seen in the day classes study. You may stand out without an elite class uniform, but I don't think it will cause any problems. I guess I could try to find something formal at home. You look lovely just like this, Miss Miyako. If you truly do end up liking night classes, however, I'm sure you could have a new uniform made. We talk a little while longer, and then I prepare for the night class. I feel like a child excited to go on their first field trip to an amusement park, impatient to pass the time until Jennifer arrives. I can't wait to finally meet those mysterious elite class students. There are no lights on in the school building, although the main doors are unlocked. With shadows blanketing everything, this place looks like an entirely different place. I probably didn't need to say place twice, but I did. Are we just supposed to walk through here in the dark? Indeed, the director wants to save an electricity bill, or so he says. If you say so. After you've walked through here a few times, you get used to it. Do you all have night vision? Is that your special ability? No, but that'd be far more interesting. Rather, we have memorized the layout of the hallways. No one has bothered to turn on the lights, so I fumble through the darkness until my foot hits something and I fall into someone's lap. Get off. Sorry, that was an accident. Blaze glares at me before mumbling something inaudible. What's he doing here? I feel a pat on my shoulder, then a girl with long black hair and crimson-colored eyes step in front of me. He joined our class tonight, so he's not used to the environment yet. His brother's a lot friendlier, though. I don't like you. Wait, Jace is here too? Don't compare us. Blaze gives the girl an irritated glance, but she brushes him off. Anyway, are you also a transfer student? I didn't hear anything about a third. Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Rasumi. Nice to meet you. I don't like you, Rasumi. Luckily, there's an empty seat beside Junora, which I decide to occupy. Rather, he sits alone in the corner, far away from the other students. I search the room for familiar faces, but the only other person I know is Blaze. Why's he taking the night class too, anyway? Do you know anything about that banished guy over there? Junora frowns and glances at Blaze before lowering his head and averts his eyes again within seconds. It feels like I've pried into a sensitive subject. That is Blaze. I wait for my friend to continue, but he remains silent. What's so special about him that he joined the night class? I do not know. I don't think it's worth asking him either. Knowing it'll only cause a scene if I try to speak with him, I decide against it. For the next hour, we learn about medicinal herbs, a subject I've never even heard about in passing. I'm glad that the teacher doesn't pay any mind to my presence, and even though I'm a new face, does not ask me for an introduction. Whenever Jinra notices me struggling to follow the lecture, he passes me his notes and definitions to help me keep up. Before long, I decide to take a bathroom break and find myself in the dark hallway once more. Suddenly, I hear what sounds like someone dragging a sack of potatoes from downstairs. I lean against the railing and strain my eyes curious. Meet the sight of bloody hands grabbing at each step as a body lurches forward. It feels like I've been dropped in the middle of a horror movie. I do not hesitate to turn back and dash towards the classroom. Every time I believe I've located the class, the door only leads to an empty room. I become desperate after my 5th wrong turn, and I end up at the stairs once more. I stop for a moment to catch my breath. So there actually is a class happening. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. To my fright, I notice that the bloody hand. I begin running once more even though my lungs still ache. When I look back, I realize the ghost-like figure is chasing after me. It's moving like a marionette. What the hell? Before I can scream for help, I bump into Juniru. Ah, here you are. What is wrong, Miss Miyoko? Someone's chasing me. Juniru rests a hand on my shoulder, wearing a concerned expression. There was a person whose hands were covered in blood and they were pale like a ghost. I'm with you now, so there's no need to be scared. My friend wraps his arms around me and pats my back. Sorry for worrying you, I was trying to find the bathroom and I got lost. Ah, my apologies. I should have led you there. Of course you're not used to walking around in the darkness. Follow me, I will show you there now. Here we are. I will wait outside, of course. I enter the washroom, rush into a stall, not even bothering to look for a light switch. I turn and notice a bloody hand reaching over the top of one of the stalls. Miss Miyako, what happened? Are you alright? I slowly managed to point at the stall, but the mysterious hand has already disappeared. That person with the bloody hands was in here. Is anyone there? Although there's no reply, a dark red liquid begins to stream out from the gap between the door and floor. My friend cautiously pulls the stall open, but there's nobody inside. I wasn't just imagining it. How odd. I've never heard of anything like this happening here before. Could it be that those subjects... Junior bites his bottom lip, almost looking frightened, before leading me back to the classroom. Are you okay, Ju? Well, there's no need to be concerned for me. Don't tell me you get queasy when you look at blood. Or maybe you're scared of ghosts? No. Are you sure then? You looked a bit pale earlier. I'm always pale, Miss Miyoko. In any case, I hope you're feeling fine. That must have been quite the shock. That was nothing. The idea of ghosts does creep me out since you can't do anything to make them go away, but I'm all good. On the contrary, if you help lay their unfinished business to rest, they'll ascend. Speaking of which, I believe there's a rumor about a ghost residing in the school. He supposedly only appears at night at random times, but he should be harmless. What we saw may as very well have been him, although I earnestly believed he was a tall tale created by the students up to this point. Back in class, it's time for a break. While the teacher has left, all the students remain within the classroom, entertaining themselves by socializing. Except Junior, who aside from me is sitting alone. Just a surprise, considering he's such a kind person. On the other side of the room in a corner, Blaze also looks quite lonely. Although I want to chat with Junior, Rasumi approaches him before I can speak. Glance over at Blaze and decide to talk to him instead. Hi, Blaze. Mind if I sit here? Without so much as a glance, I am simply ignored. What's your problem? I just wanted to talk to you. Is that so bad? Yes, get lost. His cold words pierce through my chest like icicles. Nobody's outright rejected me like this and it hurts. Before I can reprimand Blaze, Rasumi steps beside me, an enthusiastic smile on her face. Blaze, you're not supposed to make girls cry. Besides, she's new here. You need to play nice. I wasn't crying actually, but... Blaze swiftly turns around on a seat trying to ignore us both, but Rasumi takes it as a challenge. She grabs two nearby chairs and plops them down to the man's desk before forcing me to occupy one. Now, let's have a nice conversation. Blaze crosses his arms and glares at us. I'm beginning to find myself concerned that we're overstepping our boundaries. Meanwhile, Rasumi is beaming innocently. You know, Ace is actually really nice. He's what you call a tsundere. Stop giving me nicknames. You barely know me and I'm sure as hell not nice. See? What he really means is the opposite. Give me more funny nicknames since we're such good friends, please. The man visibly deflates. but I cannot help but laugh at the spectacle. By the way, are you and your brother going to the ball? Blaze scratches his head for a moment, but then nods. Whoa, the school's hosting a ball? I'm sure my eyes are sparkling from the excitement. I've never attended such a fancy-sounding event before. Anyone is welcome to come as long as they have a date. Ah, will you go with me then? Well, I already have someone in mind. Sorry, Miyako. Aw. Well, do you have any people you can ask instead? You do want to go, right? I'm thinking about forcing Jace to wear a dress. His expression is so dry and his words are so out of character that I have to muster all my willpower to keep from laughing hysterically. I want to see that for real now. That'd be priceless. So, who's the person on your mind, Rasumi? Juniru. I'm happy for a second, but then something tightens in my chest. Oh, good for you. I was so lucky to be the first one to ask. Anyway, if neither you nor Blaze have anyone to go with, why not partner up? My partner and I awkwardly turn to see each other. The dark aura surrounding him says it all. Maybe another girl would be a better fit for him. I'd rather go alone than with anyone here. Did you hear that? He said he would love to have company. Don't twist my words, you demonic woman. Oh, I know that's just your way of being affectionate, but can you please pick a cuter nickname for me? Blaze sighs and rests his head on his arm. Although he doesn't seem like someone who'd go to parties, it truly does sound like he wants to go to the ball. We're in the same depressing boat. Whatever, tell me your address and I'll be there at 7. Make sure you're ready by then. Unexpected words cheer me up. I beam at my date, but he only returns it with a glare. This is only for the sake of convenience. Don't overthink it. Class finally ends just past 3 AM. In the back of my mind, I'm worried about whether or not I'll be able to wake up in time for my regular school hours. I will inform the administration for you. So, it'll be alright if you wish to skip the next class in the morning. Really? But I'm only a normal student. That is true, but I'm sure they'll make an exception when I explain the situation. I let out a relieved sigh. Finally, Jin and I start walking home together. And we'll leave things off here. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder where Kurado is. I don't think he's dead. Maybe we just don't get introduced to him in this route. Hope you guys have all enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget the like button, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. As always, goodbye.